I know that last video went a little long. You know, there's a lot of different channels to sort of describe, to sort of, you know, either open your eyes about what is possible, or maybe just, you know, sort of brush over some stuff that maybe you were considering but needed a little bit of a refresher. So in this video, we're actually going to cover the other part of the document about your initiative management system. So basically, this is, you know, anything that you need to be done, that you need to set an owner, you need to set status, identify sort of a start and end date, whatever it is that you're going to be implementing. You know, it's a way to sort of manage who's going to be doing it, by when, what's the point of it, and what you think is going to be the outcome, along with some other stuff that we'll cover in a video later about sort of some results, learnings, and action items. So, you know, just kind of jumping into it, you know, if you're writing a blog post, you know, you want to write sort of what the blog post name is going to be, who the owner is going to be, what's the status of it. If that owner is, you know, writing it by a specific date, they want to be able to sort of plan that accordingly. Identifying a KPI is something that's really important. So if you went through the process of nailing down individual KPIs for people on your team, then you want to be able to be specific, because the whole point of implementing and executing initiatives is that they are to improve specific KPIs, right? And so having your team focus initiatives to relevant KPIs ties strategy to implementation, okay? And so having a start and end date makes them accountable about when that's going to be done, and then nailing an objective and hypothesis. So jumping over to what this looks like in GrowthHound. So we've actually partitioned the most important growth channels so that you can sort of have a sandbox about where to execute specific categories of initiatives. So for content marketing, you know, you can work on all your blog content here. And so if you jump in here, you'll see, you know, you have your name, owner, status, KPI, start and end date, some playbook details, description, tasks, comments, and outcomes. So a little bit more interactivity, but nonetheless, you can still get the same power from this system to be able to sort of organize and prioritize and understand what work is being done. And so now you're starting to see how all that strategic stuff is coming into play for your day-to-day implementation. And so hopefully it gives you some ideas about how to experiment with entirely new growth channels that maybe you otherwise wouldn't do. And so when we get into the reporting aspect or section of the course, you know, I think that it'll sort of shed a light about how to understand what success will look like, and begin to sort of give you an idea about how to execute some of that as well. So a few things to note on this that's really cool. You know, we actually create individual initiative templates for you as well. And so content marketing, we actually have pre-made blog post checklists, because along with each of these individual initiatives, you know, a blog post has a series of 20 steps, correct? You know, an email newsletter might have a series of, you know, 10 or 15 steps that are sort of recurring tasks that somebody has to carry out. And you just want to make sure that those things get done in the proper order, and that you have a process and a system in place to execute these things. If somebody, you know, moves on from a job, then that, you know, that information is lost in the company about how that was, you know, implemented. And so, you know, being able to sort of coordinate around these, you know, is super helpful in order to be able to sort of execute and keep your team efficient and running, you know, as effective as it can be.